Hello, everybody. Let's now talk about the physical data modeling or physical database modeling, or we can say the physical database design. We already talked about the conceptual and logical data modeling, and now we are going how we can uh, uh, design the database schema or physical data modeling could be done. We already talked about the logical data modeling. That in logical data modeling, we add the entities, and above the entities, we identify the attributes of each entity. And for each attribute, for each entity, we identify the primary key, and if there is the foreign key, we mention them with the entity. So if this is the cust ID is the primary key, so that cust ID is used as a foreign key in the order entity. So we do this whole practice. We already talked about this in detail. Now the next step is that how we can transform this logical data model to the physical data model to make it ready for the implementation in any DBMS system. So in this phase, what we do, we add the mm, data types to each attribute based on the selected DBMS. If we are using MS Access or we are using MySQL, so each has their own set of data types for each attribute. So we are using that and writing that with each entity. So how we could do that? Let's go and draw them in the draw.io that we already talked about it. So we can come here, and in the entity relationship diagram we can pick uh, mm, this entity, right? And as in our case we were having mm, mm, customer, and customer place order has further detail uh, about the order. So let's detail order detail, and each order detail includes product. Okay, and products, and each product is supplied by a supplier, and here each order is processed by an employee of the organization. So add all these entities, right? uh, Employee. So what we have to do in the physical database design, we write down all the attributes, right? Like cust ID, and we need to add the data types in front of each of these attributes. In logical data modeling, we are not adding these data types. For example, int is the data type, integer, and here we already talked about this, that the in the logical data modeling, that we identify the primary key and foreign key. So here it is the customer has, this is the primary key, and this cust underscore name, for example, and write down its data type. In front of it, its data type is uh, varchar, right? Okay, so and we can write the size, and for example name, address, and this is a varchar. Address could be third of size, for example 30. So this way we can add all the attributes and their data types, and the primary key and foreign key has already been identified in the logical data modeling. Similar is the case for this one. So here it will have order order ID is the primary key, so delete the foreign key component, and this order will take the foreign key from the customer. Why? Because the many cardinality is on the order side, so it will take cust ID is the foreign key, and here its data type, it need to be added, it is integer, and here it is also we need to add this integer. This is the data type, and here this one is the foreign key. Let's add this foreign key and order, when this order was placed, or date of the order, and its data type could be date. And let's make it simple for these three attributes, and you can also change these cardinalities that we already talked about it, that this could be one to many, and yes, and you can add that customer place order. So we continue this process, and for example, then I have to add all the attributes for this one, set the primary key and foreign key, and set these cardinalities. So if I go and check it here, so this is the customer, place many orders, and the order table will carry the foreign key for the customer. Why? Because this many relationship exists here. So on the entity side, where there is many relationship, you have to put the foreign key in that entity. So I will put the foreign key in order table, and it will carry the primary key from the customer one. And similarly here for the employee, so on the employee side, one order is prepared by many employee, so I will put the foreign key in the employee entity. So foreign key will be order ID. Order ID will be placed, and here is the foreign key. I will continue this whole process, and when this ERD is prepared, I can take this ERD from here, and if I'm writing the thesis or any project report, so I can directly take it there. And for example, I'm going to paste it here. Sorry, let's copy it again. Copy as image, and let's paste it here. Yeah, and you can increase the size of this ERD as per your requirement. Okay, so this is the physical database design, and now this physical database design is having all those information which are needed for sitting in front of the computer and using any DBMS. For example, that could be MySQL, MS Access, Oracle, SQL Server, and this phase will be completed. So that's all from physical